Hi, and welcome to my channel. This is Astro Geek Rob. My name is Rob, and I'm an Astro Geek. And in this channel, we're going to learn from some of my mistakes. Hopefully, you guys can figure out a better way of doing things without having to fail like I have. Now, a little bit about me. I've been doing this for, God, since I was 6 years old, so over 40 years. Kind of aging myself. When I first did this, I was just learning the sky and do dead reckoning and trying to figure out where stuff is. And then I gradually moved on to star hopping. I really didn't have any formal training. I learned from friends, reading, and finally when the internet came about, I used that as a resource as well. And now I've joined an astronomy club, which I strongly recommend to anybody getting into this hobby. My aptitude for all things astronomy has just gone up exponentially. As far as my equipment, I've had a progression throughout the years. When I was in about third grade, my parents bought me I think it was about a 3-inch refractor. One of the Toys R Us or Sears, baseline telescopes. And it was great. I could see the planets. I didn't do too much dark sky stuff. Didn't even know that that was a thing. Didn't know about Bortle or anything like that. Just did it for my bedroom. I had a pretty good clear view of the south, and so I was able to see Jupiter. I was able to see Saturn. I tried to see Halley's Comet when that came about, but it was cloudy like every single day, so that didn't work that great. My next big influence, it wasn't my telescope, it was actually my friend's telescope, and I believe it was a 6-inch Newtonian, thanks Jeff, and we used that to view all kinds of stuff. That really piqued my interest. I knew I wanted to do this as a serious hobby. I remember he did some photos of the annular eclipse in 1994, and he got one of his pictures published in the local newspaper, so go Jeff. My next scope that I had was also a Newtonian. It was a 6-inch as well. That was from my cousin. Well, it was my first cousin. It was my second cousin, twice removed, I believe. Alan, thank you very much, Alan. And I used that. I had a go-to mount. It took a little bit of TLC to get that up and running. And I used that for 6-7 years. Again, all visual. I had a couple eyepieces for it. And I looked at all kinds of stuff with that. And I've since gifted that to my nephew, Brendan. So hopefully he's using that. If not, I'm going to get on him so he does. And then I graduated to my 10-inch Schmidt-Cassegrain. That was actually a gift from my mother. Thank you, Mother. And that's what I have currently as my rig. I've got that as well as a pair of binoculars that I originally bought for my wife, but she doesn't use all that much. But I use the two of them in conjunction for visual, and the SCT I use mostly for EAA, and we'll go over that a little bit. And then recently, just yesterday actually, one of my firefighters, so I'm a firefighter as well, had a telescope that they were just going to get rid of, and he wanted to know if I would take it. I said, absolutely. So I believe that's a 4-inch refractor. We'll get into that in further videos and what you can do with that. Just on an Altaz mount. So that should be something coming forward. So I mentioned Bortle a little earlier. So some of you may not know what Bortle is. So all a Bortle is the light pollution scale. Just tells you how dark the sky is. So it's on a level from 0 to 9, or 1 to 9. 1 is the best, 9 is the worst. Right now we are just outside of Detroit, and I believe it's at a Bortle 7, so not that great of skies. We take trips to Mackinac quite often, and that is a Bortle 3, so much, much, much better. So the difference between visual and EAA. So visual is when you're looking through an eyepiece and you get to see what's up there in your eyes, and you get a realness. There's something more tangible when you're looking at something. You're actually seeing the light coming from the object into your eyes. The downside of it is the stuff doesn't look all that great. Stars look cool. You can see binary stars and they look great. But when you're looking for the deep sky stuff, the stuff you see from Hubble, stuff you see published in magazines, you're not going to see that. It's just, you need longer exposures. Bring in EAA, or electronically assisted astronomy. So that's where you have a camera attached to it and you take longer exposures to pull out more detail. Again, the downside is it doesn't feel as real to people. I'm showing them pictures on an iPad instead of them actually being able to see stuff. So as I mentioned, I have my binoculars and now I've got my other smaller scope that I'm going to be using for visual whenever I'm showing people the heavens. And when I do EAA, I'll use my main scope. Now as far as this channel goes, I have no idea where it's going to go. So I'm going to try and post videos as often as I can. Might be weekly, might be monthly, kind of depends. If you guys could leave comments below. This is brand new, this is my first video. So I'll take any kind of constructive criticism. I am not by any means an expert on this stuff. I've been doing it for a while, but I still have quite a bit to learn. So I'd be more than happy to take all of your comments. So keep looking up and clear skies.